Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep. Today we find ourselves once more on this island in the map editor. This will be our home island eventually. We are going around at the moment just working on the little things. So last time we played around with this little beach here, we extended it some and we sort of tidied up the rocks that make up the cliffs, added some trees. We also made this lovely little stone circle, which when we actually play this in the game proper, we'll have grass sprites and various bits and pieces rendered around it, so that's nice. And we made this lovely little path with the rocks and the shrubs just kind of masking its existence. That is lovely. And then we started working on this little headland here. Now, it is kind of there, but it's not complete. We've added this rock bridge, but in reality, we need to do something more to it because it looks kind of, well, it looks a little bit placed. It looks a little bit, I don't know, out of sorts, maybe. So what we're going to do is hit up rocks, and then we are going to just play around, see what we can do to make this look a little bit more natural, a little bit more like it should actually exist. Now what we're going to do is pull out some rocks and wait for the motorbike to go past the window. Hopefully that's not on the recording. And there we go. And pick this guy up. So what we have here is a fairly flat kind of, well, it's absolutely flat beach here. And it's okay, but I want to do something with it. I want to maybe carve into this, maybe get some water action here, just shallow, maybe put something on the beach itself, maybe just slam some rocks down. Oh, you know what? That might actually work. Not for this archway, but for places like this. So what I'll do is just pull that out a little bit. And it makes a neat little path between the headland and the rock itself. So suddenly there's this little path here. We're going to hit up terrain. We're going to get our terrain brush out. We are going to hit lower. We're going to make sure the amount is way, way down because I keep tripping myself up with this brush system. It's not the best, but what I want to do is I want to make it look like the rock actually is part of the world. And to do that, what we're going to do is just depress the sand around it because as the tide normally comes in and out, the wave action around it will actually cause the sand around the rock to be slightly lower than the sand on the beach itself. You might even find the sand on one side of the rock is slightly higher than sand on the other side of the rock. So we're just going to keep pushing it down, down, and down, and down until we get some water. There is some water. Okay, cool. I'll do the same on the other side. We can actually make it a little bit more obvious on this side. We'll do a bit of smoothing as well. So it looks like the rock has had some effect on the terrain itself. We'll just push this bit of sand back because it's kind of jutting out, so kind of pointed. And I don't like that. It displeases me somewhat. So we'll grab the amount and we'll crank it up because the amount slider is shared. And then we'll just smooth this off. So it's painting and smoothing and brushing and smoothing. Kind of like, kind of like the map editor and Stranded Deep. A lot of brushing, a lot of smoothing. I think what we could do is, that's kind of nice. That's nice. It now looks like it's having an effect. There's a bit of a bank thing going on here. Might just lower that somewhat here. Make sure the amount is down again. We might finally be getting a handle on this, you know. The old not clicking and then creating a massive... hey, whoa. Oh, there was a bit of that sea foam stuff there. Cool. So getting a bit of a handle on the old amount slider, but I know if we congratulate ourselves too much, then what will happen is we will find that we'll forget about it. We'll leave it cranked all the way up, and we'll put a massive spike either all the way to the gods or all the way to the center of the earth. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Looks like we are almost imperceivable that we're pushing this down to a point where we're getting a little bit more water on the edges of this this beach. I'm actually kind of happy with that. That's fine. What we can do is probably place some more rocks and some bits and pieces around. I can just hit the brush again. Make sure this is down. Haha, yes, we've got it. Maybe. I don't know. So just push that. Oh, that amount is still pretty high, but we can smooth, so that's fine. And make sure this isn't just a big old flat mess. There we go. Yeah, that smoothing brush and crank the amount up. Yeah, that's nice. It's almost imperceivable. Almost imperceivable, but you can just about make out that there is water there where the brush kind of vanishes, the sort of blue of the brush vanishes. It's a little bit of moisture. If we just push the camera down, yeah, you can just about see that there's moisture there. So that should trigger the water footstep sound. It should also trigger different things, either at different times of day. I'll tell you what, we can check that out by hitting up terrain, hitting the cog, and selecting the time. Whoa. Yeah, almost. Yeah, there we go. So we can kind of see the water on the beach at this point. That's fine. So at midday, it's imperceivable. And during the evening times, yeah, that's nice. That's actually real nice. So we'll set the time to midday again. Go back to objects and go and have a look at these rocks. So a little bit of serendipity, just slamming the rock down as is. You can see these cliffs probably aren't going to be there. Do you want this cliff there? I'm going to need to do something with this area of beach. Tell you what we'll do. For the time being, we'll just kind of pop it there. There we go. I think there's kind of a natural curve, even though it's actually straight. Just the top of it adds kind of a hint of a natural curve. So it might end up being part of the map after all, even though it's a marker. And it kind of reveals how much beach we have here. And we have a lot of beach. So we might have to do something with that. It's not a problem as such, but I don't want like tons and tons of sand. I also don't want to be flying off into orbit. Hey, there we go. Nice. We have this door here, which represents the height of the player, because like an idiot, we were creating ourselves an avatar over here. And, well, yeah, I think it says something more about hubris of man than it does anything else. So we figured actually we could just use a door to represent the player height, because players have to go through doors. So that is perfect for running underneath. So we can be running along probably about this height and be going, oh, this is a massive rock arch, no? You probably actually jump up there. I don't really want to be able to jump up there. So what we're going to do is just add some bits of rock here. I know it's different colors and all, but it's not going to be too much of a problem. That might actually make it easier to jump up. Fragments of rock. Let's press T and then pull them out. There we go. Green is going to be up for us here. Actually, why is the light shining through the back of that? Seems to be some gaps in the old texture there. Huh. That's an interesting little thing to note. Right, so I'm going to put another rock there. Are we going to keep them aligned in the same general direction? Yeah, may as well. It's kind of cool. You do find huge chunks of rock on the beach, especially in places like Cornwall, because of coastal erosion and various bits and pieces, just revealing the underlying bedrock, whether that's... Oh, actually, no, that light actually might be coming from... I was going to say the gaps in geometry that we've created with that arch, but I'm not even too sure about that. So what I'm going to do is get the camera out of there. Cool. Hit up the brush again. Actually make it smaller this time. Make sure the amount is down, because, you know, we should have learned from our previous mistakes. And then make sure it's on lower and just push that in. There we go. And then use a smaller size under here and just sort of on a very, very low setting, just kind of pull that out. We're going to hit raise now. and make a slightly large brush and make sure it's, yep, still fairly low, and actually raise some of the sand around the edge. I think we've done this before, but we haven't. We can actually just left click and hold. That's kind of cool. And we just want to push the sand up to a point where it's kind of starting to get dry, but not revealing grass and various bits and pieces, because we don't want that. We just want to make it look like the sand, the sea is washed through here at high tide and has actually sort of just deposited a load of sediment. So that's kind of cool. And it doesn't matter if there's like dry bits of stuff on the beach. We will hit smooth. Whoa! That is smooth, right? That is smooth, yeah. Why is it? It's kind of violently pushing stuff down just at that point. I think it's probably because, it's probably because here is very close to what would actually be like a very sharp drop. So it's actually raising it up slightly. We're going to get rid of some of these sort of triangular bits of geometry, which you can barely see on the recording, but I know they're there. You know they're there. So we'll get rid of those. Sort of crack the amount up a little bit. Maybe a bit more. Because we don't have forever. Oh, well, maybe we do. Oh, could you imagine if this was shot out into space and aliens were to find this and they'd be like, I do not know what is going on, but the narrator dude, he keeps talking like we do. Maybe he's one of us, no? That'd be amazing. So we go objects, go rocks. So yeah, this kind of, that is a big old cliff. We don't want that. What are we doing? We're looking at rocks and various bits and pieces. There we go. Neat. That kind of pushes into there. So we've got some rock, a bunch of, I say scree or, I don't know what that is. Sort of dirty, grassy texture stuff on top. Fine. Just throw that in there just to block off that entrance there. I'm sure we could probably mantle our way around if we needed to. Players will tend to do that if you give them the option. What I'm going to do is throw some little rocks on the floor. Now, where are little rocks? Small rock. Nice. So we'll put one there. Is it oriented in the same way? It doesn't actually need to be orientated in the same way because it needs to look like it's broken off. So we'll do that and just jam that in there. And maybe something like that. Okay, cool. Press T, drop that down into the terrain a little bit. And then maybe have something here that says, you know what, there could have been another. We can just clone this, can't we? Yep, that's exactly what we can do. So we'll rotate this and move it back slightly. Press T, bring it down, and R. So we kind of end up with a slightly wider part there. Cool. We might have to put some foliage and bits and pieces around this just to make it look a little bit more natural at some point. If we pull that out, and then, in fact, we could just clone that. Good. I think we're actually getting somewhere. So I don't want to obscure the arch as such, but I also don't want it to look like it's just something that you find in a garden centre, you know? So we'll just play around with these rocks, and there's no right answer to any of this. All I want to do is make sure like any definite sections of geometry just aren't either obscured or look odd. Is that going to look odd? I'm just looking at this side bit here, the sort of darkened side bit. There we go. Kind of looks like someone's drilled it or something. There we go. And if we have that, if we press T, yeah, there we go. So it looks like this might have fallen away at some point. Still looks a bit bridgy, but no, because from the top, yeah, okay. So from the top, this area here could have fallen away. So what we do is we'll bring that there, and it's just kind of fallen down at some time in the past. Maybe people were around to see that. Maybe they weren't. Maybe it's the old inhabitants of this island. And then we'll do something over this side as well, just to tidy it up a bit. I think you are an ideal candidate for coming over here. Yes, you are. In fact, if I put that down in there, and we'll go a little bit lower, and whoop, press R to rotate, and then T, and just bring that up there. Huh. That's kind of cool. So it looks like it's actually resting on this bit of rock now, instead of just jutting out from nothing. Yeah, I think I might be happy with the way it is, to be honest. It's fine. What I might do is just put a bit of rock here, just to say, and a bit of rock there, just to kind of give the feeling that this isn't an isolated thing, that there might be some, like a bit of basalt or something under the earth, and this is just what's left from, I don't know, coastal erosion, an ice age, people. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that can happen. So we'll do that, and we'll do that. Do we do that? Do we need to do that? We haven't addressed this headland really, this sort of rise here. Maybe we'll address it in a different way, because you do get these kind of mounds in nature. And it's because there's either something under there, like it might be part of a barrow or a burial mound, or it might just be that through a fluke of erosion, or completely opposite. It might just be an area which is sheltered and a load of soil's just built up. So I think we'll investigate these big rocks. And you are a big rock. You are also a big rock. Yep. Okay, that's fine. It's kind of same orientation as before. We don't need too many rocks over here. We just need to make it look like... We do that here? Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, okay, so that kind of answers that question. Why is this bit so steep? It's because there's secretly a rock underneath it. That means this will need to be orientated to go with it. Fine, and we'll bring that. Not. Are we not seeing the greater picture here? Yes, absolutely. Fine. I think this is too. It's not actually working for me. Okay, we can get rid of it. The nice thing about this is that we have the ability. Yeah. All right. So we'll just push you down into the ground. That's cool. That's actually really cool. We might actually be able to do something more. I'll tell you what, let's get rid of you. Yes. Let's bring back your cousin. Put you there. Nice. Let's get out the terrain brush and make sure the amount is down. The amount. I think there needs to be like some sort of saying that we do, like before you brush, make sure you check the amount slider. Not the best saying, I've got to say. I don't think I could ever work in marketing. Partly because I just can't be that kind of a-hole, and partly because I can't be that kind of a-hole. I have this sort of deep suspicion of marketeers or marketing people. I don't know what it is. I think it's the way they just kind of try to get money out of everyone. They're like the opposite of a nurse. If you've ever been in hospital, they always trying to get blood out of you. It's like, oh, hello, can I take some blood? And I'm like, whoa, hey, you're a vampire. Like a real life vampire. We're smoothing this, by the way. I was thinking about vampires. And yeah, I was thinking, this isn't doing what I need it to do. So we're just kind of flattening this top area off just a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll leave some of these sort of terrain abnormalities. This kind of ridge here that is, again, barely visible, but we'll Well, I mean, we'll certainly notice it in game. And then what I think we'll do is go back to the rocks. Go back to the rocks and see if we can't do some sort of weirdy, oldie worldy. Because I really do want to make a burial chamber, like a koi. I got it right this time, definitely. Yeah, koi burial chamber rather than a barrow. I mean, we can make a barrow, which is essentially just pile some dirt up and add some stones to one end to make it look like it's an entrance to a burial chamber. But we're going for the ancient peoples were living on this island look. So what I'm thinking is we need a sort of a large flat rock. So we can't use any of the cliffs. That's not going to be good. The mining rocks aren't going to be good for us. They kind of look a bit. They look a bit. I don't know. A little bit rocky road. A little bit toffee. A little bit like an elephant poop. Okay. Shoreline rocks are good. We have. Oh, we learned our lesson from this one. This is ideal. This is actually ideal. But as soon as we click off of it, it's it's going to cause us some problems because we'll never click back onto it. So we got these small rocks. We've got these big rocks. Is there anything we can do? We've got a load of rocks here, kind of as a large showpiece. I think we might be able to do some of this. So let's clone this one. Move you up. And move over here. Are we going to be able to do this? Is this going to be thin enough? Oh, I don't know. It might just look weird. Let's try it anyway. And if it looks weird, then we will chalk it off to the Uncanny Valley and never speak of it again. Right. So we need something like that. Something like that. Clone it. Bring it back. Bring it down. And then, let's rotate this a little bit. Let's press T, slam it back. I don't think this is going to work. I think it's going to be too thick. It is going to be too thick. We're not going to be able to do much here. Not with this. Not like this. Not like this. So what I'm going to do is just delete that and delete that. Going to leave that bit of rock sticking out of the ground though, because of kind of serendipity, I guess. What we can do is grab another small rock, this little small rock piece here, press R. That's the button on the keyboard that isn't whatever the other side of T is, and we can do that. Okay, and you know what? It's not a stone circle. It's not a koi. But it does kind of have that placed feel. Might even do another one. There we go. I'm going to put you there. And let's rotate you around. And can actually be at an angle. There we go. Let's press this. Just have you kind of off to one side. Whoop. Selected some behind. I don't want that. Right, okay. So we've got these little rocks poking out the ground. We're going to forest this island anyway. But what we've done is we have kind of given a reason for this very steep hillside to be there. It also kind of says, well, you know what? As a player, you probably don't want to be trying to run up that or mantle up that. There are other ways to get there. So you can kind of go up here. We might actually make a path up there. But you can actually stand here and admire the inlet if you wish. So that's kind of a cool thing you can do. There's also these rocks over here. What we might do is just grab another big rock. I'll tell you what, let's grab this one. Clone it. Bring it back. And just put... There we go. There we go. I'm just a little bit concerned that it doesn't look too much like a path. That kind of looks a bit more like a path. There we go. Yeah. So it's like, as a player, you'll be running along and you'll be like, hey, look, there's a continuation from here to here to here. And hey, now we're on the headland. That's neat. So that's kind of cool. And running back doesn't matter too much. So we've also got this thing here. What we can do is just grab some small rocks. Small rock. Where is a small rock? You are a small rock. Nice. We're just going to put you in the ground so you're just barely visible. And then we'll do another one there, just so you're barely visible. I'm going to rotate it so it doesn't look like it's the same thing over and over again. There we go. Press T, bring that back. And then I might have to rotate it a little bit more. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's much better. And I just want it. I don't want it to sort of look weird in the terrain, but I kind of want to suggest that there might actually be a path or a reason to go up there. So that's the idea behind this little venture. Let's do that, and let's grab another small rock. You are a small rock. Let's do that. Yep, the orientation's kind of wrong, so let's rotate it because it doesn't look quite right. Doesn't look quite right. In fact, I think if we rotate these, press T, bring that back. We're not creating steps. We're not creating steps. We're kind of creating a little path thing. Bearing in mind this will be covered in grass. We just need to create the impression of a path. Like another way up here. This might actually be better. Closer. Yes. Yes, there we go. So you're running along here and you're like, what? What is that? Why? What's up here? And then you can, just rotate that because there's little bits of geometry and they look weird. There we go. Is that okay? Is that going to be okay for us? Probably. We'll see when we test it. It'll be fine. And then what I might do is put a little small rock here. Rotate it. Put it on its end. Other end. Is there a kind of a nice little... Is there a nice end that we can kind of jam into the ground? Just so it kind of finishes off that path there. Tell you what. We'll put another one at the bottom. So it looks like... it looks like it's laid down. What is going on? Rotate it. Thank you. And bring it up. And then press T. There we go. Okay. So you've got these two rocks here, which kind of suggest the border of a path. And then you've got these three here, which suggest a way up. And then you've got this rock bridge here to this island here. Huh. And then you've got this this bridge here. There's a section knocked out, which is just serendipity. It's just something that, just the way the bridge was made. And these bits of rock underneath. What I will do is hit the terrain, hit the brush, make sure it's raised, make sure the mountain is quite low, and just raise the sand up here, just along the bottom of this. That's nice. And hit smooth, crank the amount up, and then just smooth back. Nice, good. All right, there's a bit of rock sticking out there. We have the option to do stuff with that. Maybe smooth it off a bit more. I don't know. We could probably put a stone or something on top of it, but that's kind of that looks a bit more substantial now. So that bridge looks a bit more substantial. There's a bit of rock there. It's just kind of decoration, really. There's a bit of a path going up to the top of this hill here. And now we can do something with this kind of islandy thing. Now, what I'm thinking, what we'll do is we will go and grab our favorite, well, my personal favorite. We will go and grab I mean, technically we could just put pine trees on that. That might actually work. I'll tell you what, we'll leave the pine trees until we actually come to foliage the island. What we actually need for the time being is a ficus tree. Oh yeah, the ficus tree. I love ficus trees because they're so cheap in terms of the item limit. If there is an item limit, I think there's probably a processor limit somewhere. I'd love to know what it is. I'd actually love to see a hard item limit, to be honest, based on what kind of computer you are building this for. Whether you're saying, okay, it's going to be there for all the laptops, or whether you're saying, hey, you know what, this is for only people with really powerful computers. So we've got this tree here. It's fine. It's not really, the orientation's kind of a bit wrong. Just want to make sure the roots aren't poking out of the ground because they stop about there. Cool. That's better. All right. We're going to need some, so we put some fruit trees here. Let's do that. Give a reason for anyone to actually want to come here. Just in the shelter of the ficus. There you go. Anything else? Anything else at all? There's little shrubby bushes you can pop around. Actually, no. Wait. Weed. We'll grab the amount and slam it down until it's almost nothing and make sure lower is selected. Change the size of the brush and then just push this back a little bit on this edge just so we got some rock showing through there. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so I just want to make this kind of a little bit uneven on the inside. There we go. Some sandy scree showing, sandy soil showing. It's like, oh, what is underneath this? It is just it's just soil. It's not even that thick, no? It is in an area of special scientific interest. We have to take care of it. Make sure there's no weirdness in the geometry. Cool. Right, okay. That fruit shrub is it's bothering me. We'll push it over here, put it back, just a bit closer. There we go. Just rotate it so it's a little bit more upright. Yeah, I know it's in the shadow of that thing, but it doesn't look like it's kind of in the way. Objects. Do we need to put objects in? No, but we can put some ground foliage in just to mask some of this kind of rockiness. So some plants, bearing in mind that all of this will be covered in grass. We do want to make sure that because we have fairly uneven terrain, everything is actually poking into the ground, which it is. Cool. And anything else? These bushes are kind of okay. They have a weird hitbox on them, but that's fine. We'll put one over there. They're all right. They're kind of, I guess, cheap when you need a shrub for being shrubby. Most plants technically will probably be on the island, on the landward side of this little outcropping. That's probably what you'll find, because if there's like a wind coming in, you might find smaller plants here, but they're all kind of bent in a certain direction, whichever way the prevailing wind is. You tend to find that around Land's End and places like that in the UK, which is, if you look at a map of the UK and you look at the southwest, it is the kind of the big foot or big toe thing that sticks out into the Atlantic Ocean. That's Land's End, the very end of that. So we're just looking at plants, things that we can throw down. We got yucca. We can probably throw yucca in there. It's not too cheaty. Gives a reason for coming out here, and it will be visible from here, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we just want to get some foliage in just to give ourselves an idea of what this might look like. We've got these pine trees. Do we want to throw pine trees down here? Probably not. I'll probably keep it light, actually. What I do want to do is throw something in there because it is kind of a little bit... Can we throw another banana plant down so close? Probably. We are kind of stuck in geometry at the moment. If I use shift, I'm just going to punch us out. There we go. I do like these banana plants. Huge amounts of kind of ground texture. Right. But I don't want too many in the same area. So I'm going to get rid of that one and then replace it with something else. So what else have we got here? That might do. Yeah, cool. It's just not having the same plants all over the same area. I mean, technically you can do that. If you want to create a little plantation of stuff, that's fine. But I tend to just like the variety more than anything. And then we have this kind of area which you are kind of invited. So if we if you go back to the bridge, you have this area, you come down and you've got some stuff to the left, which I think I might move a little bit more to the left because it looks a little bit too lined up. So we'll just move that until it, there we go. So as you're coming down the rock bridge, well, it's okay. It's okay. It's a little bit better than it was. So yeah, you have these plants kind of on the rocks, kind of breaking up some of the rock area, although we could probably do more with this, but I think we've looked at it too much for the time being. But you are kind of invited with this huge gap here to come and stand on the rocks and to look at the ocean, especially with storms blowing. That's kind of cool. So that's neat. So we have that. We have the trees and stuff going on there, which is, that's cool. We have these rocks up here, and we have another little path thing going on there. That's also cool. So what else do we have to do? Well, like I said, the little things are kind of focusing on the little things and taking our time is actually, so far, it's kind of working out for us. So we have a pathway, we have a stone circle, we have the bridge, this little headland thing. We already got a bit of wreck showing through there. We could do something here. I was kind of interested in this bit over here. Oh yeah, we've got a river, a little stream with some rocks here. We might be able to do some stuff with that as well. This bit here, what do we do with this? Now, what I had an idea for is using these boat pieces to make a kind of submarine wreck, if that was even possible. I don't know. I still don't know if it is, if I'm going to be honest. It might not be. I mean, that is quite a large area. More of a nuclear submarine than kind of a little World War II, like U-99 affair. But we'll have a little play. This might not go all that well, but let's hit up structures and see what we can use. The rowboat, obviously not, because it's kind of it's wood. So we're going to get some shipwrecks out and just see what they look like when they're turned upside down. We might end up just using a shipwreck. Oh boy, that's kind of interesting. So let's bring that. Let's bring that up a bit. That's green. Huh. Okay. Well, that was the wrong button. F is center view. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I wonder if that looks like a Kai 10. Which was a Japanese submarine. Interesting history behind those, actually. Not for the squeamish, though. So we will just look at these various. Whoa, you are a big shipwreck. I don't think you're gonna help us out any. If we hit R, then flip you over. No, I think your keel is way too pointed for us to be any use to us. Yeah. Unless we're doing some sort of 30,000 leagues under the sea thing, that's not going to help us out at all. Nope. Okay, so we'll get rid of you. Okay, so contenders for the throne. These shipwrecks. You are also very, very big shipwrecks. Let's turn you over. And let's press T. This is green. Just going to rotate you around. No, not really much on the underside there. Interesting. None of these ships have. Well, actually, technically boats rather than ships, but none of these have rudders or propellers or even just drive shafts. Because technically, with a wreck, what would happen is the soft things would come away. So the rudder would actually come away when a boat is wrecked. And then you find things like propellers might get knocked off as well. So I know that is a big old beast, that is. Yeah, lots of bits and pieces come away, and then you end up typically you end up with like a superstructure left over. Can we actually create something with all these bits of geometry? Probably not that convincing. Let's do this. Okay. Right. Okay. I got rid of the wrong thing, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, other Barry. All right. Maybe we can just make a large shipwreck on the beach. Might actually have to do that. So we're going to get this guy out again. Going to press R. Going to rotate. Fine. Going to flip it over. Not that way, though. Let's flip it over this way. Okay, cool. Going to press T. Going to bring it back. Going to raise it up a little bit until we see it like that. Press R. That's still kind of okay. Rotate it a little bit backwards. There we go. Press T. Get you down into the dirt. Right, fine. Is there anything we can use to create? We didn't actually even try you. What do you look like upside down? Whoa. You look. Actually, whoa. Can I? If I could hit the right buttons on the keyboard. Oh, yeah, actually, you look way better. Right, okay, fine. We're going to use you. Press R. Oh, yeah, that is so much better. Fine. We're going to press T. We're going to hit the green thing. We're going to pull it down a bit. I'm going to go like this. This was always the plan, by the way, to try and create us like a submarine, which is why this thing's been upside down on the beach for so long. I'm going to press T and bring you over. And because things can go through each other. Now I'm wondering if this will even render as like an object. That's a question for the ages. Now what I want is some sort of like conning tower affair. Let's do this. Because there'll be some stuff that renders. You know what, that actually might work. That might work if it wasn't kind of in the wrong place. Let's get rid of you. Yes, let's get rid of you. This might, this might not be that stupid. Let's bring the entire thing over here and move it back and rotate it a little bit. Let's rotate it and make sure that bloop, there's nothing out there. Let's make sure that this is kind of, if we bring this back a bit, so it kind of looks like it's kind of been rammed onto the beach. We'll have to do some stuff with the old brushes and water and make sure everything's around it. Press R, rotate this bad boy, but this is this model. Pull it back. Ah, yeah. I'm liking what's happening at the back of this boat with the old. What is that? Kind of mast at the back. I don't even know what that would be doing there on a fishing boat. I suppose it might be part of the winch system, maybe the crane system. And then you've got another one on the top. Is that just a repeat of the same thing? I don't know. But you know what? It's going to work for us. So we're going to jam it down, 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 down. And it's kind of got that Q boat feel. Like a mini, like an old British small submarine. I think, is that actually, oh boy. This is the one that I wanted. Oh, I hadn't noticed the mast is actually bent on the top of the standard fishing boat. That's an interesting little thing to note. So we're going to hit R and pull that round. Just going to be just like jiggling it around a little bit. This whole thing. I kind of want that in line with a stern. So can we click on that? Yes, we can. All right. So we can actually click on the mast. Right. Okay. And if we try and make, we can't do this. We can do this. It is being done, but every time we let go, we go back to the base. There we go. Right. So what does this look like in terms of, I mean, does this kind of look like a submarine? Have we got that submarine vibe going on? Maybe not. Which thing have I got selected? Right. So if we do this, if we do this, move it over. We just have to accept that it might be off center. We might actually be able to disguise some of this with some objects like rocks. And there is another shipwreck 4A. So we get 4A out. Okay. We rotate this round. Okay. Press T. Pop that into the sand. Now, if we pull that across... how do we do this? What do we do? So if we press R, rotate. So one side is up and the other side isn't. Then we can kind of make it look like there's a bit more machinery under the old. So that side's kind of out a bit. We've got some bulkhead, but no, those are ribs, aren't they? So we've got some ribs of some boat here. No, I actually might put it the other side. So if we hit R, rotate it that way. There we go. Press T, and then move this down. I have no idea what this is going to be like to watch, by the way. We are literally at this point just playing around with models and objects that exist within the game that we can't create ourselves. We can't add anything to the game in terms of geometry. So I'm just kind of trying to make this look plausible. Okay, so we're going to have to rotate that back a bit and then forward a bit just to drop that down. I just want to make it look like there might be something else on there. Press T and then bring that in. So I just want the tops of this to rotate. Cool. And yeah, that's okay. If we go back to see structures, various pieces, shipwrecks. Yes. No. Fine. We have this kind of hatch thing here. So if we hit up, if we close structures, hit up rocks, big rock. Yeah, okay. So we might have to do something rocks. What I might do is use one of these big rocks. Come on. Rotate it around and then just make it so that the end of this is obscured so that it doesn't look. So if we hit R and then like that, press T, bring it out of the ground, bring it up. So it's kind of like, oh, there's a hatch there, but you can't get into the hatch. Yeah, I may have put that stuff the other wrong side. Oh, we could put another one down, you know what? It doesn't matter too much. Let's pop that into the ground. Let's rotate it a little bit and then bring it up just so it kind of touches the bottom of that. So they've managed to jam that in there. Might be too big, you know. What have we got going on with the small rocks? That is a small rock. That might work better, you know. So we'll bring that up and then use this instead to obscure the fact that there isn't actually a hatch there. Yeah. Okay, so that might actually work better for us. So we've got these kind of rungs that come up to what could have been... there we go. Cool. And I'm kind of thinking we just leave that rock there. We pop another small rock into the terrain. Probably this side actually, because this is the way we would. Oh, you know what? I don't care. Let's move this side. There we go. It's part of this little rock cluster, right? And then what we'll do is we'll probably just scoop out some more sand from around here. Well, I don't know if it's anything that's been tried in Stranded Deep before, but we're doing it. So I'm going to drop the amount down, make sure it's on lower. What's the size like? Not too bad. It's a soft brush. So, I mean, we've got all these other brushes that we've never used because, in fact, these two brushes are pretty much it in terms of organic stuff. I'm going to push this down, and we want to make sure that the brush starts to disappear. That tells us there's water there. Cool. We'll do it that side. We'll do it a little bit this side as well. It doesn't have to be even or even smooth, so that's fine, because what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll there we go. Cool. We'll come back and we'll smooth that out a little bit. Do we want water to be under there, kind of visible? Yes, we do. In fact, I'll probably raise this area here, because these rocks are going to interfere with the movement of water across the beach. Yep. And then lower this here, because the old river is coming out here. So just push this down a little bit. There we go. And here. Yeah, okay. And then just kind of give a little bit more of a deep water vibe. Not deep water, but, you know, make that a little bit more noticeable as it empties out onto the beach. So we'll hit up the smoothing tool. We have to bring it out of the water in order to see how big it is. And then we'll just kind of smooth this all back. So we lose some depth anyway, but that's fine. Smooth it back here. We'll probably lose all the depth here, if I'm going to be honest. But we can come back and we can kind of poke it around and then smooth it again, and poke it around and smooth it again. So that's kind of, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we might come back and have a little look at this at some point, just tidy it up a bit or something. But yeah, so it looks like this has come in, maybe knocked a rock onto the old hatch. We might be able to do something else with it, but yeah, little submarine. Huh. We might need to obscure it from the land though, so that's kind of a cool thing. What would it be doing here? Why, it's an island in the Pacific. There happened to be a big event here about 70 years ago, so maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe it's something to do with all the explorers that have passed through here, from Thomas Jefferson, lead singer of Jefferson Airplane, to say Billy Bob Thornton. He was the first man to cross the Arctic, sponsored by Mars Bar actually. So he only ate Mars bars, but since you need 30,000 calories to cross the Arctic every day, you need a huge amount of calorific content to cross essentially an Arctic desert, a snow desert. So yeah, but you know what? I've been talking for way too long, and we have got some stuff done. It'll suddenly sort of pop into perspective when we start adding trees and more foliage to the island. But for the time being, you know what? I'm going to call it there. So if you're liking this series, definitely leave a like, because that actually helps the video get shared and found and all that sort of stuff. Share the video with anyone you think who might like it. Leave a comment if you feel that way inclined. And you know what? I will catch you guys next time.